Welcome back. Here we are again. So we're back on the 14-inch early Suffolk Punch. So not a lot of progress the last couple of weeks or so, but I have done a little. So what have I been doing? Been doing a bit of priming and obviously rubbing down a little more. So I've primed the handles, so that's had 2 coats of grey. Done the gear case, 2 coats again. Chain case, I needed to rub that down a bit because it was quite rough. Get it as smooth as I can. 2 coats again. Both of the tie bars, 2 coats. Clutch drum, again same thing. Clutch dog, both of the front roller brackets. So yeah, made a little bit of progress. Not a lot, but a little bit of progress. So the next thing will be getting the paint sorted out. So I'm going to bring you a little bit closer because again, it's just you and me. The camera lady's going to do the editing and I'm doing the filming. So I'll be as steady as I can and as gentle as I can. So right, let's get you closer. There we are. Right, okie dokie. So yes, I've got to rub the roller down, or sandblast it, and that's obviously got to be primed, and it looks like that's red oxide, or maybe it's supposed to be the orange, I don't know. And then obviously the little space is a Suffolk green. And I've left the engine platform, as we can see. That's what somebody's painted, and that's the original where the engine sat. If we turn it over, we've got the original there, and I guess probably out of sunlight and probably not too much oil, it's probably not faded too much, so that will be a good base to get a match on. I did try a little bit of the green paint I had left over from the Follows and Bates hand mower I had. I thought it looked quite close, but after putting a dab on there, you can see it's too light. So I've got to go out and get some. And then obviously I've got to get the orange for the engine. So yeah, that's something I need to do. Yeah, other things I've been doing, yeah, the sprockets look okay. That's the clutch sprocket. Looks like that one's serviceable. We've got the intermediate sprocket. Again, that one's cleaning up. The cylinder sprocket's okay. We did the Woodruff key in the thread on that. The chains are that 3/16 standard, I think they call it. So I'll clean those up. And if they don't seem to be stretched and none of the rollers are missing, might well reuse those. I've got the cutting cylinder to grind. I've got the bottom blade on the block now, and that will be put on the bottom blade grinder to be ground. I've got, don't know what I've done with it, but I've got around and about the roller shaft. I need to make turn some wooden rollers up. That's another job. Oh yes, I've cleaned all the started cleaning the nuts and bolts up. It's surprising with these things just how much of it there is. Not a heap there that needs doing. It'll keep me quiet. And then I'll try and clean the original throttle lever up, which is quite nice. Don't think it's ever going to be, well, I suppose if you wanted it, you'd get it re-chromed, maybe. But anyway, that's another little job. So yes, there's plenty to do. Quite keen to get most of the painting and the mower side of it done, and then we'll start on the engine. Probably best if don't have too many parts hanging around. So I think we'll try and get on top of this bit, and then we'll get straight onto the engine. So yeah, one of my subscribers was asking about the slow running tubes on the Zenith Suffolk carburetors. He's got one he's having trouble getting out. I'm sort of assuming it's the later type that just presses in. You've got the earlier one with the banjo on it that's a screw in, but I'll show you how I get them out, and it seems to work most of the time. So let's find a carburetor or two. So yeah, that's the slow running tube in question. This one has been out, but let's have a look at one of this carburetor. These later ones, they are just a press-in fit. So, but they do seize up in there sometimes. So, and they can be a bit awkward to get them out, but. Top off. Ah, now that one's come out quite easy. Sometimes they do this. Sort of gasket draws it out. And that's the offending part. Slow running tube. Let's yeah, the way I normally get them out is I use something like these are fairly blunt side cutters, and what I would do is I would sort of at the very base of the slow running tube, I'm just going to sort of pinch it, and I'd squeeze, probably distort it a little bit, and then I'd sort of twist it, and then I'd sort of try and force it out. That normally seems to work. You do quite often buckle them a little bit, but you can sort of true them up and clean them up. So yes, I would sort of say you want to try and get to the bottom of it. If you sort of pinch it at the top, it will just fold in more so. And then you'll sort of have nothing to get hold of. So I find it as low as you can, and then we're just going to sort of start twisting, and then I'm going to just try and force it. There we go. So that one's come out. So yeah, I've very slightly damaged it, but you could sort of, with a normal pair of pliers, you could true it up a bit, and then obviously with something like a wire brush, you must make sure that you can get that completely clear, see daylight through it. You can get these slow running tubes, they're available. Not a problem if you do damage it. I mean, when you look at them, there's only a very small part of it that's actually in the body, so see it there. So there's not a lot holding them in there. I think, you know, say you got yourself into a bit of a mess and maybe chewed that up, squashed it up completely. I think I would probably put a self-tapper in there, and then I'd screw it in a fair way, and then I'd prise it out that way. Alternatively, you could sort of drill it out, as long as you don't make the hole any bigger. There's not a lot of it there. And I think if it went very horribly wrong, there's plenty of these carburetors around, so I think you could find another one if it did. So don't think that's a problem. And obviously the carburettor throttle shaft again needs to move like that, and little butterfly open and close. And again, you're looking for movement in there. Obviously it should move backwards and forwards, but if there's a lot of side to side or up and down, you know the throttle, the shaft itself, or worse still, the body is worn, and you will have a job to get a nice steady tick over if it is. I think you'll have a job getting a shaft if that is the case. You know, if your shaft is very worn, you're probably going to end up looking out for a good second-hand carburettor. So that's the later type of slow running tube, which is just pressed in, the more common one by a long way. And we'll see if we can. I've got an engine on the floor that has got an early one. Sadly, my early punch engine has got one of these later carburettors on there. Just turn it round. Yeah, so I need to find, I want to get it right, I need to find the right carburetor. So turn it round. Yeah, you can see it's got one of the later carburettors on there, so hopefully I can find an earlier carburettor for it. So anyway, we'll see if we can. I've got one down here, so I'm going to take it off an early Banjo fed Zenith. So let's get that off. Have a look. Looks like somebody's replaced the lower half of the carburettor. The carburettors are very, very similar. That one's got, again, it's got the press-in slow running tube. That carburettor really should have the earlier one that is actually, it's screwed in. I'm just trying to think if I've got any other I don't know whether I have got any spare carburettors. Oh, there's one there. Let's have a look. So I'll take this one out and have a look. Again, this is an early Banjo one. This was one that I've got a feeling is worn. Oh, it's there. So. Yeah, you can see that one. How sort of worn the shaft is. I think I cleaned this one up a while ago and then found out it was very worn. Yeah, I've already taken it out. So that one would have had the original. It was a screw-in slow running tube, which looks very similar to the later, but it's obviously a screw-in affair. Those can be more difficult to get out. The only thing I would say, you need a very good screwdriver. I mean, probably if you've got an ultrasonic cleaning tank and the carburettor's bad, you probably want to put it in that first, get it warm, and it may come out easier. But if it really doesn't, and you sort of round it off, then it's probably going to be a question of drilling it out. They're not so easy to find, the screw-in slow running tubes. Yeah, my feeling is you'd probably end up putting a later bowl on there. But anyway, hopefully yours is the push-in, the later type. They are available, and hopefully that was of help to you. So right, let's get you set back up over here again. Good. So I think we're done on the Suffolks today. So I need to get paint sorted out. Keep threatening to do it. Yeah, and then we can get going with the painting. So yeah, there we go. So Suffolks, yeah, I mean, I was thinking earlier on, I mean, Suffolks have made some mowers over the years. You know, they've made hand mowers, roller hand mowers, side wheel hand mowers, side wheel motor mowers, as the corporations and the Squires, and obviously the Punches, the Colts, and they've even done some rotary mowers as well, petrol rotary mowers. So they've done a lot of mowers over the years. So yeah, you could make a collection out of them. It's a shame then they're not still going today. Yeah, we could have possibly had a Suffolk coronation. Who knows? Would have been good. So yeah, there we go. Anyway, so yeah, hope you enjoyed the video and made a bit of progress. Well, if I make some progress, there'll be one next week. Or following that the week after. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed your day today. Everybody got in the spirit. Yeah, quite an occasion. Anyway, thanks for watching and see you on the next video.